Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement. And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here. That's the covenant, breaker 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, when I be talking about third and second dimension, that's not just an analogy. Okay? It's powerful. I mean, I use it that way, but it's fundamentally truthful. Truth. See, the thing is that what's true in the second dimension is not true in the will not be true in the third dimension. What do I mean by that? Okay, say there was a famine, a universal famine. And something like this happened in Arabia during Muhammad's time. There was a famine. And over there is a law where if you steal, they cut your hands off. Right? When that famine came, he put that law on hold. Why? Because during famine, stealing is not stealing. That's not the truth. Self-preservation is the truth. And if your family needs food, and there's food someplace else, you go take it, that's not stealing, that's self-preservation. That's what rules the day. So that's why he relaxed that rule, because afterwards, right, you call people thieves, well, they're not thieves, they're hungry, they're trying to survive. And there's a certain amount of respect in that, because that means they love life. That means they love the life that God gave them, they're trying to protect it. You understand? That's the same thing with Jacob and Esau. Esau, what he was doing, you say, well, how can God love Jacob and hate Esau when Jacob was lying and stealing and everything else with God? Because he was doing that to get close to God. He loved life. He wanted, right? He wanted to be close to God. And Esau said, hey man, whatever. Whatever. Because see, your understanding, you have two-dimensional understanding of things. You understand, that's why you can't understand the idea about Adam. How God would tell people to submit to Adam, mission shed blood, because he was the truth for that. I mean, if God is about truth, then that means he's telling you that at that time, that's the truth. Make mission shed blood. That is the truth of the time. Otherwise, why would God be promoting a lie? You tell that fool Sunday said, God always does everything right, perfect. Then why did he tell you to submit to someone who makes him shed blood? If that wasn't true and perfect for that time. You understand the truth is, and that's why we have, that's what I'm going to talk about today. That's been my main subject around that. And you have treachery here. See? And these people, they're treacherous. That's a little, but they're traitors. Because right now it's the time, during this time of the rise of the original man, and they're not helping that. They're betrayers because they're talking. They don't know what they're talking about. So they should shut up. If you don't know what you're talking about, because if you go out there talking about you preaching to people who are in need, desperate, in some cases, then you should be talking if you don't know, have a solution, if you know what you're talking about. But they're talking because they want fame, they want approval for Farrakhan, right? They got hit Farrakhan's ass and say, hey, Farrakhan, go ahead and do some, release your bowels, man, so I can get some more honey. That's what they're about. See, because he set them up. Oh, people look at them, right? They look like they're important. They're sellouts. Some of them just demons. They got to help. They don't have any choice. And we got a lot of people like that for nickel or dime, right? You got people like, oh, what those? If they're in the movies, right? They're in the theater. If they're demons, you understand. Well, you can. I understand the demons. They have any choice. I don't blame them. I only blame them if they come over here and try to take advantage of us, right? Because they're demons. They want to fight. They fight for themselves. They fight for master. But they get on there, on TV, in the movies, and if they get up there and say, look, I'm a really white guy, I'm just acting black, okay, I can go along with that. But they get up trying to pretend that's the way we are. That ain't the way we are. That's not the way original people are. And people look around, well, look at this, look how dumb them niggas are. How stupid they are. See? Because they present a false picture, and they come out of Africa. You don't know, those Africans over there, they despise you because you make them look bad all over the world. You make them look bad all over the world because they look at you and you look like the Africans. And you're doing all this stupid stuff. You know, you don't have to do it because you're doing it because you're getting paid. So whatever the devil put in your script, you write, you say it. You don't care what's hurting your people or not. So therefore, you be cut off from your people. That's what Quran said. The Bible said you be cut off from your people in a terrible way. These folks right here, they're traitors. If they're not demons, we know Ishmael is definitely a traitor because his father wasn't a demon. Because he knew if he wasn't, had his head up Farrakhan's ass, right, he'd have his mouth between Master's legs. That's where he'd be. And he wouldn't get paid. Be like a little puppy sitting in the corner. Okay, your time, Ishmael. Oh, okay, Master. Feed him dog food. Because that's the best he could do. If Farrakhan allowed him to put his head up his ass. That's what these people are. And so they're going to get the worst chastisement because they outright lying. They cannot, if you ask them right now, put them on a stand and say, show me the scripture that proves show me the scripture that supports that you saying about Farrakhan. They cannot do it. They cannot do it. I give them $1,000 anyone that can do it. Show me a scripture that support all that stuff you say about Farrakhan. They cannot do it. It's not there. But all scriptures that expose him, it's there. Aaron, oh man, bad news when Elijah left. Right? Malachi, cursed, cancer, robbing the nation. Peter, cutting off people's ears after Jesus put his ears on, he cutting them back off. No matter where they look, it's bad news. That's on the scriptural side. On the biological side, it follows the devil. He admits it. No matter how you cut it, it comes up shit. No matter how you cut it. So how are they supporting them? They have to know that they're lying. Because they can't find anything to support it other than just, we're going to support them. Even he says himself. Elijah said he'd be his worst hypocrite. He said it himself. So how in the hell are they supporting them? If they're demons, we understand it. But otherwise, they're doing it because they're traitors. And what do we do with traitors? See, you know, every traitor, nations deal to us with traitors. But the Bible tells us that our traitors will be dealt with the worst of ever. See, because they will not find any refuge from anywhere. Because first of all, right, our people would turn loose on them and they're going to tear them apart once they realize who they are. Because you caused our nation, we went the worst time in history, Holocaust. The worst affliction in history. And then you clowns, right? Because you participate in that. Because what you're doing, your treachery, that means you're going to get the same consequence as the people that afflicted us. Because you assisted it. Because you're part of it. And said their chastisement, it won't be a chastisement. Their instruction be horrific. Say it'd be strange. Say they can't even something strange. That means you can't even imagine it. And so you are part of that because you participate in that because you don't know the fuck you're talking about. And you're talking. You shouldn't be talking. So I got a few things I'm going to talk about, brothers and sisters, because I'm talking about derision. Quiet before the storm. Let's talk about this first, brothers and sisters. Okay. Quiet before the storm. What is that? Oh, well, let me speak this first. This one little tricks they doing lately, right? And this didn't come from Farrakhan, because Farrakhan's incapacitated. He ain't out yet. He's he can. See, the thing is, if he could talk, right, coherently, you'd heard from him. When they're so-called saved, they would say, okay, he would give a verbal message. But he's saying, God told him to be quiet. God ain't told him a goddamn thing. He's a goddamn liar. Yeah, you're a goddamn liar, Farrakhan. God ain't told you shit. Yeah, maybe God did. Not Satan, because that's the one you worshiping. Because he's God as well. That's another subject altogether. They tell you he's the same God as well. What does that mean? Jesus said he be the God as well. So that means that's who you're praying to. Because look at your works. Look at the works of Christianity. Look at the work of Christianity. They said no one by their works. So you're going to tell me these Christians are worshiping a righteous God? Well, let me turn that back, because Satan was righteous in his time. See, because if it's a shitstorm, and you're doing shit, you righteous. You got to understand what truth is when you consistent with your time. That's why Adam was judged to be righteous. He was judged to be a ruler because he was in sync with the times that we were living in. We're moving out of that time now. That's what truth is. Your idea of truth is, it's good all the time. Well, how come all this evil come? So Satan, in his time, right? He's a ruler of this world because this world was in a negative state. So you got a negative state, you have a negative God. If the world was in a negative state, you need a negative God to rule it. And so he's righteous during that time. If it's a winter, you need a winter God to rule the winter. You can't use summer God to rule the winter. I don't know if I can get that point across to you. Because your whole understanding of everything is totally wrong. It's two-dimensional. And you see things are all wrong. And we're going to talk about some of those things today. But see this little trick right here? See, Elijah came with the words from Master Farad Muhammad. Now, he's not a dummy, but Farrakhan's using him as a dummy. He's using him as a prop. Because he don't believe in Elijah Muhammad. He said it. We have him saying it. But now all of a sudden, because he's using it as a prop. Right? So, like I said, over and over again, you got a ventriloquist. If you know what a ventriloquist is, he has a little dummy on his lap, right? And you see a dummy talking. But the dummy's not really talking. It's the ventriloquist talking. But you don't see his lips moving when you see the dummy's lips moving. So it looks like the dummy's talking. Right? And so, yeah, okay. And so you hear the dummy saying stuff. Right? And so it's okay. That's fine. Right? So he's saying, he put words in Elijah's mouth. And this is where the trick comes in. Then he tells you, we start talking, he tells you that he's through the dummy, and he's saying what the dummy said. But what was the dummy saying? What he was saying. So he's really just saying this stuff, but he put it on the dummy. So he put it in saying Elijah, and we know Elijah say none of that crap they saying. Because bottom line was getting the hell out of here. Devils are devils. They cannot be redeemed. But no, he's going to redeem you and say, devils, we're going to stay here and all this stuff. That's the trick. But there's a lot of tricks. Okay? And most of you caught up in those tricks. And that's war in heaven is going right now. I've been talking about for years. I'll just give you the basic, right? Then we get into the dilemma of this. But right now, they have this little pause going on. I usually say ceasefire pause, because they don't really call it ceasefire. And everybody's telling you it's going to get worse, because it has to get worse. Because what's driving it? See, what's driving it? That's what you got to say when something happens. What's driving it? The cause. And they don't know the cause, what's driving it. Like I get an analogy. If you live in this big gigantic pot, right? Say you're in this big gigantic pot. You're so big you can't even see that you're in a pot, right? It's like if you took a lion and you put him in a cage, right? This cage like 2 acres by 2 acres, right? You might not even realize he's in a cage because you just fly. You don't know he's in a cage unless he walk far enough and bump into some bars. Otherwise, he might think you're free. So say you're in this giant thing, and there's fire under it, and it's water, and you in it. So you swimming in there and everything right now, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Oh man, it's getting hot up in here, right? And you don't know what's causing it. So you're gonna do everything you can to try to keep it cool, but you can't. But you don't realize that you can't, because what's causing is that fire under it. And the only way you can stop, you gotta turn that fire off. But you don't know there's a fire under it. You don't know that you're in a bowl, in a pot. So no matter what you do, you're gonna try all kinds of things. But eventually you're gonna ball away because you can't stop it, but you don't know that. And that state Europeans are in, that state America's in, and that's where the disbelievers they're in, because the thing is they don't know what's causing this. But it's a pattern. It gets worse and worse and worse. And no matter what they do, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Because no matter what that person does, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. You see? They may try to jump out the water, but they end up coming right back in. There's a pause. Oh, it was cool up here. Back in hot water again. When they get back, it's hotter than it was before. See? That's what's causing it. So they cannot stop it. I'm going to show you in a minute, because it's happening. They did the signs, but they don't understand it. See? Because they got two-dimensional minds. A two-dimensional mind cannot understand three-dimensional universe. It's impossible. And so they got all these two-dimensional ideas. Okay? So right now, this war, I told you, I don't know exact times. All I know is that this war will be over by December. It's going to last all up to December. I told you that the other day. Now they got a pause. You think, oh, it's a pause. They said, no. They don't even, I've been calling ceasefire, some call it ceasefire, but they said actually it's a pause because they haven't even had official ceasefire. So a pause is, hey man, it's getting hot, man. Let's calm down for a minute. Well, you may calm down, but the point is the heat's still getting hot. So you may calm down for a minute or a day or two, right? But say for instance the degrees goes up 1 degree every day. So it's like 90 degrees, 91, 92, 93, right? So you say, okay, it's 9 degrees right now. Man, it's hot, man. Let's have a pause here. Let's have a pause for 10 days. Okay. So you stop bumping each other 10 days. But then now the temperature's up to 100. Remember, it still keep going up. Right? So now you can't stop. You gotta collide now. And now you collide it. Understand that's how it works. Because they can't stop it. The temperature's still rising. So they're gonna do everything they can try to slow it down. Let's come on, man, let's see if we can get along. No. Because when pressure builds up, the collisions become greater and greater and greater. So if you find a way to dam up those collisions, all you do is make the pressure keep increasing. And so it takes energy to have to pause. And once after a while you don't have enough to keep the pause going, bam, then you come back even worse than you was before. And the thing is that the truth is becoming out right now that false Israel, right, begged for that because they was in trouble. And it says that the king of north will come out in a whirlwind. Well, they came in almost a whirlwind this time because they kicked their ass, kicked false Israel's ass, and false Israel was on his knees. They're like, he said, why did Iran stop? They should have kept on going, right? Because false Israel was on his knees. They was one begging for the pause. But this pause is not buying them anything. Because it's going to break any day now. It may break today. And when it does, it's going to be worse, much worse than it was when they started, before pause started. That's where it works. So right now, right, I still say ceasefire, a pause. But when it starts up again, right, that's when you're going to have the full-blown thing. Because when it says Michael's angels, Michael's master from Muhammad, they don't even know that. How could he be in? He's the one to deliver us. Farrakhan never mentioned Michael that one time ever. Not that I know of. Because he don't know. I fought against the dragon's angel. You have to know what a dragon is. But that's going to be full drawn. Because I told you, the dragon represents the Sunni, basically, in general. And they're going to be what American Britain was Gog and Magog, chapter 20. 2 world empires. There's already been 2 world empires. American Britain, that's Gog and Magog. They don't understand it either. They all be together against Iran and Syria. And based on my understanding, Syria's going to reconstitute. Because they have problems right now. They got a little kind of civil war going on right now. Get rid of those Al-Qaeda, wherever they're up in there. And it's going to happen any day now. Like I said, a lot of things got to happen to this period of time, but that war will continue until December. Because they got to attack us. The accused of our brother had to be cast down. Syria has to be reconstituted. A lot of things have to happen. And like my best guess right here, because I said the only one knows the exact time is Master Muhammad. This is what it says. All I know is I know the period. Right? See? I don't know the details. I know the detailed things that happen. Exactly, I can't pin down exactly when this happened, that would happen, that would happen. It doesn't tell me. I know, right? This war will be hot and heavy, definitely in September. So where we are in June right now, well, we're pretty much in July. So I think my estimated pause will last probably to July. Anyway, that's another story. Okay? And then once, I'm not going into details, but that's where we are right now, this pause. And when the pause stops, Iran's going to hit False Israel harder than it did before the pause. And that's what the scripture's talking about, the whirlwind. And they're going to take over all of Arabia, which caused economic collapse in Europe and caused dire economic problems here, which eventually end up in economic collapse. I'll leave it there. I already talked about it, so I want to get some other things, brothers and sisters. Okay, the dilemma. I want to talk about this dilemma first. See, because you got to know the cause of things. Let me talk about a few things first before I get there. That's the thing. See, the thing is, you have to know the cause of things. And you got people talking. First of all, I can understand people talking second dimensional stuff because, I mean, that's the second dimensional world, if they know second dimensional stuff. But these people are talking out their ass. They don't know a damn thing what they're talking about. They said those traders, they tell you, oh, right? Remember tell about COVID? And they was deplatforming people at the time, but they was right. They put little marks, sign, hey, no, I told you about COVID, and I was right too. Farrakhan comes 7 months later, he knows all about it. I told you it was a plague that would start right after our 400 years, which it would, and I told you about it. 1619, 2019, 2020 would be a plague that killed the firstborn that was killing elderly. I said it wouldn't kill original black people unless they had some underlying medical issue that it aggravated. I ain't taking shots. It didn't affect black Africa. See, I said these things. I said, wouldn't I have, you can go check I probably still got those platforms. They platform a lot of my stuff, right? I said it wouldn't affect Africa, original people. And it didn't. COVID did not affect black Africa. Go check World Health Organization, WHO. It didn't affect black Africa. They didn't do any distancing or mass, none of that crap. It didn't affect Haiti. It didn't affect places where predominantly original people, black people were. But it was raging in false Israel. It raged Europe, all over the planet, but mostly Europe and false Israel. They caught the worst of it. Caught the worst of it. Because it was a plague that was get them, wouldn't get us. And then when they were saying we was dropping like flies over here. No, we wasn't. That was a lie. Because it was designed to get you. The problem is it backfired because they test on demons. Those who understand demons, you can appreciate the humor there. They test on demons. Well, demons got the same genetic code they got. Just got our skin color. And that's why I was killing them. It was designed to kill us. That's why it was dropping like flies. They expected that was one of their first major attacks on us. Because they said they would start attacking us right after 40 years over. And that was their first major attack on us that backfired. Like all other attacks would backfire. The first major attack on us was that COVID thing. That was supposed to, and those blacks that did take those shots and everything messed them up. That's a big secret with Farrakhan. Because those Negro bus was over with him, some of them that a lot of them died from COVID. And the reason why they keep their death secret, because they would tell you don't take the shots and they was taking them. The secret over there. That was their first shot against you. That was designed to wipe you out. Well, I should back it up. Right? Actually, AIDS was that was preliminary. But the one right after that 40-year period, the first one was AIDS, right on time, 2020. But AIDS was designed to get you too. And AIDS is still raging in the black community, but they don't talk about it anymore. Because it's getting you. AIDS was designed to get you. They're attacking you, but you don't know. And you see these Negro busts and people like Farrakhan and stuff like that there, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So you guys just dumbass people. Like you take Mr. Wesley, right? He was over Farrakhan, right? He's saying dumb stuff like, well, the problem is, our problem, we don't have enough sun, because we're sun people. You see, he got a whole thing on that about a year or so, 2 years ago. I'm saying he probably a PhD or something. Well, if that's the case, the solution, we should go back to Africa, right? How come Africans they got plenty of sun? How come they got problems over there? See how stupid that is? Because he doesn't know how to, he just should shut up. Confusing people, because that don't even make any damn sense. What's sun? No, we get energy from the sun, but that's not where we get our prime. Like it says, we live by the word of God. Every word that come out of the mouth of God, they don't understand what that means. They say, well, no, the God's from the word. No, they're talking about the nature of the universe. That's no. Anyway, brothers and sisters, how dumb that is. Then you got Nuri. He's telling you that giraffes got long necks. These people are supposed to be guiding you. Farrakhan people. Now Farrakhan believe in this crap. Because he believes in evolution too. Now he's going to tell you the reason why giraffes got a long neck. I was there when he said it, actually. I was present when he said it. Right? They got long necks. I mean, I would slap him right there, right? Because millions of years ago, there was a giraffe that had a short neck, right? And he looked up there and saw some fruit on top of a tree. He wanted it. So that desire was so great, he passed on to his offspring. They passed his offspring. And next got longer and longer and longer. So after millions of years, the neck finally. I mean, on the surface, that don't make no goddamn sense. So you starve to death. How can you? That's the kind of crap they be talking about over there. And then this global warming thing. See, they tell you, oh, it's because of cars and stuff. That's not what it's causing it. Because they don't understand how the universe works. They're saying stuff. That's why it says their wisdom will be turned into nothing, because that's two-dimensional stuff. They can't explain, global warming. The Earth is warming up. Yeah, the Earth is warming up. But see, they stupid. They don't understand. We get in a three-dimensional world, and it's like apes. See, if you was living out in the jungle by yourself, and you came across this tribe of apes, and they took you in, well, you got to obey those apes, or you get your ass kicked. You got to go along with them. That's why you got to act more and more. As long as you stay, as long as you can act more like apes. See? And that's the same thing. We here in the land of apes, land of beasts. And so if you don't act like the beast, then you end up in jail, you get killed or whatever, because you got to act by their laws. How they do things. Make mission shed blood. So when Elijah Muhammad tells you obey the laws of the land, that's indirectly telling you obey these people. Because that's what the command was. Obey Adam. Submit to him. When you submit to him, you obey him. Because you're in the land of the gorillas, so you got to act like the gorillas or you get your ass kicked. See? But just hold on, just keep on acting like that, because that's how you survive until your time comes, and then you can get rid of them damn gorillas. I mean, that makes sense, don't it? But you have to understand that's the time of the gorillas. It's the land of the gorillas. You have to understand this is a time of low energy on the planet. How do you know it's low energy? Look at it. The planet's cold. Right? You got two ice caps where all the ice are both. You know how big those continents are? You got 2 continents. Remember that. North, they got Antarctic, Arctic, and Antarctic. I think that's the name. Anyway, North Pole, South Pole. Those are 2 continents, and it's frozen. But they wasn't always frozen. When they dig under there, they find animal bones, they find grass and plant. That means it wasn't. So how did it get like that? With ice age. Well, why do we have ice age? That means at one time those places was hot. So was that a global warming then? You see, it still make no damn sense, because global warming would make those places melt again. So in other words, when it was hot, so how did they get cold like that? Before they got cold, would you have cars and all that kind of stuff? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Because they say that global warming is caused by the cars and all this kind of stuff. That's what they're telling you. Exhaust. That's bullshit. But they don't understand how the universe works. Because you see, right, you look out there and say, oh, well, those places used to be, wasn't no poles. That means the Earth was a lot higher than it is now. But see, as the poles melt, you say, man, Earth's going to be real hot. No, it won't. Because when they melt, right, that means you have more water. Right? More vegetation. It shields you from the sun, and the water will cool, right? Absorb a lot of that heat, and so forth, so on. It won't be a person won't turn to an inferno. It just be more. You won't have any more deserts. See, so you have all kinds of food and stuff everywhere. It'd be a garden. The Earth be turned into a garden. There'll be plenty of food and everything for everybody. So you don't have to work for anybody. Why would you have to work for anybody? There's food going everywhere. We won't eat animals anymore. You won't have to, because so much vegetables and fruits and stuff is so good and so much of it. You ain't think about eating any meat. So then the animals won't be so vicious, because they scared the hell of you, because they know you about to eat them. They know that much. You don't believe I start eating dogs and start seeing how dogs start to react. You think they're stupid? They are stupid. They know they be eating. So eating dogs. You understand? So yeah. Once a woman means now you're gonna have 2 more continents available. And no more deserts. Look how much land is covered by 2 continents of ice. And all the deserts. You got much deserts. Sahara Desert, desert in the Middle East. You got deserts here. You put all the deserts together, it's probably a continent all by itself. So in other words, the world has been conquered. The world is because of energy deprivation. Because energy deprivation means less energy. That's how you make things cold. The less energy, the colder things get. So the universe, as the Quran says, as the universe expands, it says the universe and heavens are one, and then it expands. That means it will get colder and colder and colder here. So now, during energy deprivation time, it'd be very cold. That means ice will freeze up there. That means it's not available. That means now you got less water available to you because it's all frozen up on 2 poles. And on top of that, now you got deserts because you have less water, so now some land turns into deserts. Now you got less, and then and so there's less water, less moisture in the land. So now you got to start farming. You got to make the land produce. Where we just produce naturally. Now you got to force it. You got to farm, you got to plow, all that kind of stuff. See? That's the nature of it. Once you're in that situation, into deprivation. And so when you got to do that, it means less food. That means if you got population and there's not enough food for everybody, you got a conflict, you have wars and rumors of wars, because people want to eat. They start fighting for it. So you need somebody to control that situation. Otherwise, you have total chaos. Right? So you find somebody that's as vicious as everybody else that don't mind killing and shedding blood to take control of that. Right? So everybody don't, so they can keep everybody from taking control. Because you're gonna have to kick their ass, you're gonna kill people and everything else. Keep the chaos down. So that's you need a government. Because you need a military to control the food that is available. And then you have to ration out. How you ration out? Okay, remember you got to plow and everything now. So hey, you come over here and you help me plow, and I'll let you get some of this food. I'll control the food, right? So I got to plow. I got to plow. Get it. I got to force her to give it to me. So okay, then you come over here. You do the plowing, and I give you some of the food. How then? And that's what slavery is all about. Capitalism. Capitalism did not start until, read up, go find history of capitalism. You didn't find capitalism exist until so-called slavery started, because that's what slavery is all about. You was the commodity. That's why Wall Street was a financial system where you was a commodity, because that's what they called war. These line slaves were going to along the wall, enslave them, sell them along the wall. You was the commodity, but you don't know this stuff. So this is the Farrakhan, those clowns, you'd be just dumb as they are. Capitalism existed because that's what capitalism is. Slavery by definition, slavery by definition, because it's maximum profit, minimum overhead. Maximum profit, minimum overhead. It means the less they give you, the more work they get out of you, and that's exactly what slavery is all about. They fed you shit, beat you, gave you nothing, no place to stay, anything else. All you had to do is work and produce for them. So that's the time period was in. They control the resources. So you got to work to get. So otherwise we'll starve to death. So we ate shit and everything else. That's what Smith to Adam. Okay, you ain't gonna eat shit. They even said, tell it in the scripture. There's something that said your people eat pig shit. It says it right in there. It says, in fact, it goes further. It says they even eat human shit. It says right in there. It says, son of man, he would have to deal with it too. And they said, wait a minute, hold it. Well, we ain't gonna force you to eat human shit, but you gonna have to eat cow shit. It's right in there. So how would the world be in a situation where the son of man himself had to eat shit? That means energy deprivation. But they don't understand. You ever heard this term energy deprivation ever? Because they don't understand it. You didn't hear from Elijah Muhammad. Because you don't know what's causing it. What's causing it? The universe. Why you got polar caps? It's desert. Because everything had less energy here. Right? And you take energy, everything. You take energy to sleep, walk, talk, bat your eyes. Take energy to think. That's why most of you can't understand truth or anything, because to understand these kind of concepts I'm telling you, it takes energy to do that. But you ain't using it. But that's why you got all this distraction in the world. The devils want to keep you down a second, because they control. Remember, they control this world of energy deprivation, which is a two-dimensional world. They don't control it because they're the god of this world. Satan is the god of this world because this energy deprivation world. Right? Adam was given control. Because you need somebody, right? They don't mind shedding blood and everything to keep this thing on control. But people be vicious. They're not vicious by nature. They're hungry. They want to take care of their families. And after a while, you have total chaos because everybody. If you don't have anybody to control the situation, the little food that is here, everybody would starve to death because everybody would fight, take it, and then there'd be no food at all. They would cause even worse famine. Then you got everybody's eating cannibals. So they put Adam in charge. Say, "Oh, no, see, Yeah, Adam bad news, but bad water is better than no water. That's why God said, okay, I'm you in charge. Because this time you've been charged. If you say, I ain't doing that, well, that's his problem. That's why I told angels submit to him. We submitted. So we survived it by submitting. Yeah, they fed us shit, they beat us. But we still here, and now time is over, and now it's time for us to rise up. So that's the part we have to take. It's it. It says, Son of Man himself would he cow shit? So what you think? You can escape? Well, what kind of period would be that? But he would have to eat cow shit. So that's what time. Winter time, you need a winter God. So that's why same as God as well. Because you need an army, you need capitalism, you need democracy. All these concepts you see is the kind of organization you need for this time period. That's why as Sunnis failed for 1,500 years. That was the kind of system they had for 1,500 years ago, for 1,000 years, right? That's what chapter 20, they ruled for 1,000 years, because that's the system you needed to rule during that time. But when it got severe, acute energy deprivation, that wasn't working anymore. So then you need somebody that was cold-hearted, cruel, right? They won't care about your tears and all that kind of stuff, because they're controlling the resources, and it's not much. They control who gets what. They're going to make sure they get it the most. And they need somebody to work the land. They get the food out of the land. See? That's the bottom line. That's how it works. And that happens when, and plus, remember, your mind gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So now you have Christianity, which has no connection to the universe at all. See? And so, but it was, we submit to Adam, means we will survive this, but not fighting back, just we'll survive it. They feed us shit and everything, but that was either that or no food at all, because that's what shitlings is. You call it chitlins now. Okay? And our mind was taken away from us. They took everything away from us, our mind, our language, everything. The only thing we had some food. Anyway, the thing is that we, by going through that, right, we suffered, but we come out of it. We suffer, but we come out of it by just submitting. Otherwise, fight it, and we don't make a way out of it. And the only thing we had, right, because we had vision was taken away from us. So if you read Exodus closely, right, who's giving Christianity as hope. See, we control everything. And we planned everything. Dr. Shapaz planned everything. And so we turn everything, like the scriptures say, for the righteous, everything works for the good. So we said, let's use this situation to improve to our benefit. So how you turn these diamonds into gold, coal into diamonds, under this intense pressure. We went under Holocaust, intense pressure. That's why I said, during this period of time, if you read Genesis, let's make man our likeness, our image. That pressure transformed us to gods, male and female. Okay. But during this time, all we had was Christianity, hope. Because we had nothing else. It was totally dark hope. That's what they're talking about. You put a brass serpent on the stick. That's the cross. Because the serpent was tactless. And so if we believed in that, they would leave us alone. That's what it's all about, brothers and sisters. But these people are telling you stuff they have no idea what they're talking about, and they're going to pay for it. They just run their mouth. See, first of all, you shouldn't say anything. If you don't know what you're talking about, you shouldn't say anything. That's dangerous. The Quran tells you every word you come out of your mouth, you're going to pay for it. So if you can't count, if you're personally, when you talk to them, and you apply mathematics to it, and it falls apart but we're told Islam is mathematics and mathematics Islam. So how come there's no mathematicals to you what you're saying? And you can't explain, because they ask them a question. Well, explain to me why God promoted Adam, make him shed blood. Why did he put him in charge? They can't explain it. Well, that's all humanity. It doesn't make any sense, because all humanity's not ruling. Well, why did we come over here? Because you're right, you're wicked. You're wicked. That's why God punished you. That's not the truth. That's not what the lessons say. That's why you don't read the second part of your covenant. Because what the second part of the covenant says? That we go home to promised land between the great river Euphrates and the great river Egypt, which is Arabia. Look on the map. So if we was coming sort of wicked, then why are we getting a reward for being wicked? Sinful. Because they run their mouths and have no idea what they're talking about. They can't explain these things. They can't explain what's going on right now. They run their mouth and they never saw us coming. And anybody go check my presentation, I've been talking about this for years, this very situation right here. They even told you a time frame. And I'm telling you what's going to happen next in detail, not watch the weather stuff. But you got these people talking out their ass. See, they can't tell the difference between their mouth and their ass. That's the problem. See, they get them mixed up. I mean, it really doesn't make a difference, does it? Because that will come out of their mouth is just shit. Move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, let me go here. The dilemma. I talked about it before, so I'm going to talk about it more today. Now, what's going on right now is confusing the people. And like I said, their wisdom is too dimensional, they don't understand what they're talking about. But this explains what's going on. I've been explaining for years. Now see, the Jews and the Christians have been at each other's throat for 2,000 years. 2,000 years have been literally at each other's throat, killing each other. At first, the Jews was killing the Christians when they first started. They was wiping them out, crucifying them and everything else. And Saul, which he called Paul, was one of them that was wiping out the Christians. Right? And then he said he had this vision, because he was killing Christians left and right. Then he said he had the vision on the road to Damascus. And so Jesus told him, said, why are you doing this? Then he switched around. But you see, a lot of the Bible that the Christians, so-called Christians following right now is because of Paul. But Paul got him to go against the law. You could eat pork, all that stuff. See? So he might have came like Paul and said, yeah, man, I can't beat him. I can join him. I can just pretend I'm with him. Because most of the scripture there, that's Paul wrote that stuff. And it goes against all the laws of the Old Testament and everything else. See? He changed the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. You can eat pork. Don't matter, all this stuff. That's Paul's writing. So that's what he said. He came from the inside. Like we got Farrakhan, right? Okay. There's each other's joke. But then, back in the 30s, right? All of a sudden, they was going to finally wipe them out. And don't say that was just Germany. America was on board with that. All the Europeans on board, nobody cared. They ain't trying to stop it. I can tell you all kinds of details. They ain't trying to stop it. They didn't go to war because of that. America got in war because they was trying to protect Britain. They didn't give a damn about they was being burned up. Their idea was Hitler just didn't finish the damn job. Hitler's war machine, you know who built it? Henry Ford. The one that started the car maker here. Go check it out. They was on board with all that. They don't want to tell you that right now. And Jews escaped there, came here on boats, and they would turn the boats around and know they were sending back their death. See? But they was like this, right? And then suddenly, right? Because this is Elijah Muhammad's time. Because they put him in prison during World War II, during this time, because he refused to stop telling black original people they should be fighting this war. Farrakhan said, hey, America, we're going to fight for him. Elijah Muhammad went to prison. See, Farrakhan, he's a coward. Plus, he's a liar. And plus, not only that, he's a devil. Black-faced devil. As far as the devil, he admits it. Right? But devils ain't devils anymore, right? So, he would refuse to do that, right? But remember, he was telling us He was giving us a vision, restoring our vision, because all we had was hope. Christianity. That's all we had was hope. That one day something was going to work out. That some way we'd be out of this. That's all we had. Hope. Because when you have nothing else, hope is the only thing that gets you past. If you lose hope, then you're dead. See? If you have a vision, vision unites you, puts you together. When you have a vision, the only thing you got left is just hope. If you lose hope, and what else we had was hope. Oh, Jesus. But if you read Exodus, because that it's strange, right? But it's right there. It tells you that's what was given to us, right? Hope. Get us through. Okay. Now, I can show you the scriptures. It says Moses told Moses to take and put a brass serpent. If you understand Daniel, brass serpent, right, is false Israel. Right? He said put it on a stick. Right? And that's what Jesus supposed to be, a Jew on a stick, ain't he? So if you worship that, right, then the other service won't bother you. Anyway, so then, see, then they start getting together. All of a sudden, they start kissing each other's ass after 2,000 years. See, because Elijah said, we're the true Abraham. And he got the proof. We got the history and everything else. We came over here in ships. It says they would go into captivity in ships. You don't go from Palestine to Egypt in ships. And plus, it never happened. There's no proof that ever happened there. Plus 400 years. Plus a strange land. Egypt is not a strange land for Palestine. So, and that was their fear, that we come united. They said, well, hey, we got to stop this. We can't let this happen. Because black folks united around, so have vision. Vision unites people. Because they have a common vision, common cause, common direction. And that they don't want you to be united. They said, oh. So then all of a sudden, they became friends. Suddenly. And all of a sudden, because their own religion tell them that Jews ain't Jews. But Jesus said, y'all ain't Jews? He said right in Revelations, what you call Revelation. Those that people say Jews are not. They're synagogue of Satan. It says it right there. Plus Jesus said, no, your father's the devil. He said, you do his works. What's been their works? What's been the work of Christians? Murder, genocide, rape. You name it. Terror. How you maintain 400 years of what it did to us with terrorism, 24/7. That's their work. So is that the works of a righteous God? Or is that the works of Satan? That's what they worship Satan. That's what Jesus said. It said right there. But so how come? It says right there. So how come they ain't teaching that? Because right there, it's clear language. And that's why Jesus was crucified, because he called them out. So that's why they was killing. They was killing for 2,000 years, called Christ killers. All of a sudden, bam, all we friends now. Why? Because Elijah Muhammad was a threat. So he locked him up, right, and put false Israel, all of a sudden, false Israel, we buddies now, we friends, we family, and set them up there and say, see, they're the real Israel. Because see, they went back home, but home ain't Jerusalem. Check it out. Home is supposed to be Arabia. And that's where dilemma comes in at. That's where dilemma comes in at. Yeah. That's what explains, when you understand the cause, you understand what's going on. Because they got all these theories of what's going on now. I'm telling you exactly what's going on right now. So they set false Israel up there to kill our vision. Because Elijah Muhammad said, that's the vision is us. And he said, no. Because remember when he talked to Martin Luther King? He talked to Martin Luther King one day. The next day, Martin Luther King went out and spoke that vision, the Promised Land speech. And they blew his brains out the next day. They told these preachers, do not teach that. Do not teach black folks are the original. Because that's why preachers don't teach it. Because it was like Martin Luther King did. He was dead the next day. See? So anyway, so they said, we got to do something about this. So they false Israel up, right? Okay, I got to change something about stuff. I forgot something here. Let me take 1 second. This is my thing, but my thing, but oh. Oh. No, I forgot that. There you go. Okay, here we go. Mm-mm. So what he did, they put false Israel back up there, give you that vision that false Israel was a true seed of Abraham, right? And stab you in the heart with Christianity. You see, because now they after you. They after you force Christianity on you and get a vision to make sure you stay under control. Now they got corporation when they was in it, right? But see, the whole idea, they still hate each other. But like family, you have two brothers, they hate each other, but then somebody's moved to the neighborhood that's causing a problem. They come together, unite against that person because that's not, you know, they have each other's family. You understand? Then after they get rid of them, then they go back to fighting each other again. That's where the dilemma comes in. They still hate each other, right? But they need each other. See, false Israel needs, America needs false Israel up there to keep us blind to who we are, right? And false Israel needs America to keep supporting them. Otherwise, they can't survive over there. See, both of them together. And the object is us. Right? Our vision, Christianity, our heart, right? The vision of Christianity is false Israel, and I put the Christianity in our heart. That's them pushing until they can figure out a way to get rid of us. That's the plan. That's what code was all about. That's what AIDS was all about. Let's move on. And this is Arabia. Look at it. This is River Euphrates over here, and the Great River Egypt here. This is Arabia, not Jerusalem. See? That's a lie what they're doing over there anyway. But see, the point is, and this is where the dilemma comes in at. They still hate each other, but they need each other to keep us from finding who we are until they can get rid of, until America needs us, not false Israel. America needs us, right? America needs them, false Israel, to keep us blind to who we are. Because see, that's them. That's false Israel. That's the truths, right? See? Now, false Israel knows that. That's the only reason they keep them around. They know they still hate them. And so they know that if they get rid of us, then they get rid of them. They go back to getting rid of them again. They know that. This dilemma. Right? So the thing is, they need to put this up in position because they know that they're trying to get rid of us, and they know that one of the things to get rid of us is throw us in the river. If you understand what that means, they want a war with China. They ain't spread to get out of hand like it is right now. They want a war with China, right? Because they had a war with China, a conventional war, not a nuclear war, where they have to have the draft because they said China put together a 200 million man army. There's only 300 million people in America. So 200 million, they have to draft everybody. And they would draft you. You'd be the main target of the draft, all of just like in prison. One of the reasons they had prison, they had private prisons. Let me talk about this prison for a minute. Why they privatize the prisons? Now, if you're going to go into business, if you're a businessman, businesswoman, right? You want to go into business with prison. You want to be guaranteed you're going to have a product. Why would you go into business with that and have a product? So who produce? So you say, okay, I'm gonna buy this. Go to state. I'll buy the prison, but you got to guarantee me a product, and they did. Okay, we'll give you so many inmates a year. This is a fact. These are Democrats. I mean, Republicans just as bad. So that's a 3-strike law and everything else. So what happens is that any little thing, your ass in jail, right? Because if you come out of jail, you done your time, right? But then you can't work anything else, and you're going to do some crime or something. Do 3 strikes, you're in there for the rest of your life. So you could be out there, you win the first time, right? Still in the car, maybe. Second time, maybe you didn't do anything. Somebody accused you, so you end up anyway. Got charged. So third time you out there, man, you hungry, you can't get a job any place, you're homeless, you steal an apple, 3 strikes, boom, you in jail for the rest of your life. What? That's the way it works. So you ain't producing any babies while you're in there. See, it said, if you read it and they tell you they were trying to stop you because you was producing so fast, and their whole plan was to get rid of you. They said abortion was one of the first things they would do. It's right in the Bible. It said one of the first things they would do abort you. When that didn't work, they throw into the river means they try to get rid of you in a war. And that's what's on the menu right now. See? But you don't know it. That's why they make all these stupid movies and everything else and trying to get you patriotic. So when this war comes, you'll be ready to volunteer. They have a war against China. They have to have a draft. And they'll draft almost all the young men. And you definitely get all of you. Because when you're in jail, you ain't producing any babies. And if you ain't producing any, and you ain't coming back. If you go to war with China, you ain't coming back. You're dead. And so that's how they get rid of you. Because then what's left is just a few. They can mind. Old men can't produce anything. The rest of them are homos or whatever, right? That's the idea. So you think it wouldn't do that? Have you watched Gaza lately? You see how incredible these are people that never done anything to them? And you think they wouldn't do it to you? And you got 400 years of history with these people? But no, they wouldn't do that to me. 400 years of these people. Hey nigga, come over here, man. Just have, that's what they have fun like that. Watch this, watch. Hey, Joe, watch this, man. Nick, get over here. Open your mouth. I gotta piss. You think they ain't do that stuff like this? It was a joke to them. It was a joke. It was a joke. They had the women out there picking cotton, just like the man did. And sometimes they had a woman out there naked. And that kind of jump off the horse, tell her bend over, he's doing her, and tell her, you better stop, don't you stop picking that cotton, but he's doing her. And then you sitting over there and you can't do a damn thing. And if she struggle a little bit, come over here and help me hold her down. And you fist bumping these people? This is what's going on. See? So they got to get rid of us. And false Israel knows that that's their plan, to get rid of us. And once they get rid of us, they'll get rid of them. And the only country in the Middle East to get rid of them is Iran. See? That's why they got nuclear weapons. John Kennedy tried to stop them getting nuclear weapons, right? So they got nuclear weapons now to protect them, because they know once they get rid of us, they won't come after them. On top of that, they want to get the upper hand. So what's the upper hand? See, then you understand what's going over there. Take over the Middle East altogether. That means they have control all the oil. That means then they got the Europeans, they got nuclear weapons and all the oil. Now they got the Europeans, they got the upper hand. The Jews got the false Jews got the upper hand over the Christians. That's it. That's why they take all these countries and everything else. The aim is to take Arabia. That's their final goal. They can't take that. But they know they need, right? They need to take over Arabia. But the only one stopping them from doing it is Iran. That's the only force that can stop them take Arabia and take the rest of it. Because if they knock out Iran, they can take over Arabia overnight. They can take Arabia overnight. Iran's the only one stopping them from completely taking over. And that's why they've been fighting Iran. Right? Iran protecting these countries. Got Libya, Syria, Lebanon. Hezbollah in Lebanon, they Shia. Right? You get, I forget what you call them in Syria, but they was allied with the Shia. So they're moving in. But they need to take out Iran. And then they can take a whole Middle East, if they can take out Iran. So but they can't take it over. They need America to do it. That's what's going. That's why they're trying to. America don't want to take out Iran. See? Because they want to use Iran to take out the false Israel once they get rid of us. You see the dilemma there? That's going on in the background. That's going on in the background. You see? When you understand it, it's all about us. Because they got to keep false Israel. That's why I go text it. Why they protecting false Israel? Why no matter what? Because they got to, that's here. Because they got to keep us from us coming together, realize who we are. That's why they protect them. Because they ain't doing anything for us. They ain't doing anything, they help. That's why they protect them. Because that's the reason why they set them up. And false Israel know they plan to take us out until they take us out. Then they get rid of false Israel. They don't need them anymore because they hate them to begin with. They only need them because of us. False Israel knows, hey man, I got to do something before they get rid of them. When they get rid of us, they're going to take us. And they're going to probably use Iran to do it. And we got a new weapon. But if we take over the Middle East, we take out that oil, then they can't. Now we got them because they need the oil, and we got nuclear weapons. They can't stop us. And we can charge $1,000 a barrel if we want to for the oil. Then we got them on their knees. That's what's going on here, brothers and sisters. Now tell me the line to look at it. Exactly what's going on here. See? That's the dilemma. Exactly what's going on here. They can't tell you that. It's all about you. And that's why Michael and angels go into war. Because they're going to preempt that whole thing. They don't. You're doomed. So they say, well, come on you like a snare. You want to see it coming. They said it's planned against them. This plan so they won't see it coming. That's what it said right there. Let's deal shrewdly with them. Let's get rid of them without them seeing it coming. And that's the limit America and false Israel got. And so right now they're harrying, trying to push this war to China so they can get rid of us from the draft. And so they got a time frame there. Oh, they pushing, man, if they get rid of him, but we got to get rid of Iran first. We got to get America to take out Iran. So America take out Iran, then we can take over all the Middle East. Because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take over the Middle East. The only thing stopping them is Iran. So they get rid of Iran, but they can't do it themselves. They got to get America to do it. Then they got the whole Middle East. Now they got America by the ass, got the Europeans by the ass. But America said, no, man, I can't let them do that because, right? See? So they're coming to ceasefire because Israel's on its knees. We can't let Israel go down, false Israel go down. So they can have a pause here. That gets a little more deeper things because the truth is coming out more and more. And I don't want to go into this because it sounds like some conspiracy thing, right? See? But the truth, what they're saying right now, and it's a lot of, I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I'm just tell you, and you decide, right? Because I can't prove it. I don't talk about things I can't prove. But it makes sense to me. See? Because the thing is that their false Israel is about to go down. See? And so they said, we can't let false Israel go down. See? So we got to stop that war. See? But false Israel keep pushing a war to Iran. They keep attacking. They're the ones causing it. They causing America to fight with Iran because America's got to protect them against Iran. See, America's got to protect them against Iran because they can't let false Israel go down. And the only way they can stop it, they got to take out Iran. And they don't want to take out Iran. So it's coming, we say, okay, what we do is, we say it's a nuclear site and everything. So he said, we bombed it. So it's done. You see? So false Israel said, okay. So they stop attacking. So Iran stopped attacking them because they don't want, remember, Americans don't want Iran to take out, because there was a process of taking false Israel out. So now it stops them taking out because we ain't attacking you anymore. And we won't let false Israel attack you anymore. You see where it's going? You see? But false Israel ain't buying it. They're going to attack some more, and that's when they're going to get their ass tore up. But that's the limit they got going on there. So he says, okay, better deal with Iran. Look, we're going to hit your base. You just take the stuff out of there. And so look like, you don't have any nuclear weapons. So then false Israel stop attacking you because let's stop this war. Because you're going to go, we won't go down. They don't care about America. If you false Israel, and someone will go down right now. I'll leave it there, brothers and sisters. That's the dilemma. See, if you look at it from that point of view, then everything starts making sense. Because why you take false Israel? Why? What's the thing about Iran? Eh? What's the thing about this war with China? Eh? And they setting you up here. Oh, I can't forget this part. Trump is going against the Constitution. Nobody's saying anything. And now, one of the things he's doing is he's saying that it's totally unconstitutional. I don't care what this damn Constitution is, all lies anyway. He's saying, the Constitution says, you cannot use American troops against American citizens. He just thinks so you can. You cannot use American troops, right? American Army against American citizens. And we put American citizens, right? So why would you do that? You gonna take against white people? No. Unleash them against you as part of taking you out. It says that's their plan. It tells you right in there. Their plan. Let's do surely with them. Because the war break out and they'll fight against us and flee the country. Why would we flee? Farag said we ain't going nowhere. Farag said they get in a war. We'll help fight for America. That's not what Elijah taught because he's one of them. He's setting you up. You know, the thing is that when Elijah had it all set, Master Muhammad and Elijah had it all set, they could not draft you. That was the whole thing behind Ali thing. Could not draft you. Right? You was exempt. If you was an Native Islam, they couldn't draft you. Right? Now Farrakhan, because what Farrakhan does, they can draft you now. Because yeah, we'll fight for America. America belongs to us. And you got a lot of people in the military that's for Farrakhan people. So you don't see what he's doing. He's there. He's a part of this. And he's doing everything undermined because remember, Elijah went to prison to keep you from going into war. And Farrakhan advocating, yeah, we're going to fight for you. The America belongs to us. We ain't going nowhere. That's the whole thing. That was their fear, that we would fight against them and they would leave. Farrakhan said, no, we're going to fight for you and we stand here. He's a demon. His father's a goddamn devil, so is he. That's the biology of it. That would say, you accept truth or don't accept truth. So if people don't accept truth, that's why they're with them. They're with Farrakhan, they don't accept truth. If they accept truth, they would not be with him. They're not on the mathematical plane. The emotional plane, two-dimensional plane is the emotional plane. And say with him because he looks good. He told us, look how you see how Mishmael described him? He looks so handsome. You sleep with him or something? He looks so handsome. Look at him. He looks so handsome. And he's so this and he's, you know. Really? Because those that follow him is not following him with truth. Because there's no truth that support him. If you can show me any truth that supports Farrakhan, I'll give $1,000. Anybody. I'm saying it publicly. If you show me the truth that would support him as being really supporting Elijah Muhammad's teachings and Master Muhammad's lessons, I'll give $1,000. You show me any scripture that support that. Because you can't. I was saying for years, and they call me names, they say all kinds of bullshit, but they never step forward to take that claim, ever, because they can't. There's nothing to support him, nothing, zero. Even in the Quran, Moses came back, he wanted to kick his ass, grabbed by the beard, was going to kick his ass. The God sent Moses back, said, man, I'm crazy down there. You know, turning people around, he can make a mockery for their enemies. And Moses went down and said, damn, he got mad and kicked their ass himself. He made them drink the golden calf and everything else. And then he grabbed Aaron. Why you do this, Aaron? What's your problem, Farrakhan? Then Farrakhan, the coward, it ain't me, man, it's them. They made me do it. The devil made me do it. This is all truth. Everything you get here is absolute truth. Prove is wrong. Everything you give is absolute lies. Nothing they say is truth over there. Come on, we forbidden a lie. That's a lie right there. Everything they say is lies. They can't prove any of that stuff they're saying. None of it. Zero. Come on, after Farrakhan was anointed. You better read that story again. God got made Elijah for even asking for him. He said he got angry with him for even asking for him. You don't need him. What's going on, brothers and sisters? Wait a minute. Yeah, see? Back up here. See? And that's what it did. Right? See, we got Islam in our heart. But they put Christianity in our mind. We got the mind of Christians. As Christians did. And what these did, and Daniel tell you, both of them was in it. Right? And they give you got a mind of Christian and you got a vision. That's the vision they give you. That false this was the real tree of Abraham. And they pretending they us. Also lie. Okay, I did something wrong here. I don't know what, I did something wrong. Okay. What about that? I did something wrong here, so give me a second here, I've got to correct it real quick. What happened here? Oh, okay, I know what happened. Okay. Okay, brothers and sisters. So let's go, talk about dilemma. Let's go into some global warming stuff. You see, I explained to you the thing is I was talking about how the universe expands and contracts. Well, it's all energy. Everything is energy. There's no spirits. No, everything is energy. Everything. Everything is energy. Your thoughts are energy. Your food is energy. Your heartbeat is energy. Right? You blink your eye is energy. Anything, any action is energy. Because the whole universe is energy, period. Nothing else. Zero. Nothing else, right? When I say zero, I mean zero meaning anything else besides energy. It just doesn't exist. Everything is energy. And as the universe is, since we live in a pressure system, everybody has the same amount of energy. It's just how the energy is managed. It gets down to energy management, which I'm not going to get into today. Right? But everybody gets the same amount of energy. That's a universal fact, but you don't understand. Okay. So I talk about global warming. So let's look at this. The universe is contracting now. So watch this. Now see, brothers and sisters, Quran talk about it, says, momentous in the heavens and earth, but it come all of a sudden. Hope this is okay. Come all of a sudden. Momentous in heaven, and that wouldn't be true unless the earth has been the center of the universe. Momentous in heaven and earth, but it come all of a sudden. So in other words, you got the energy, the universe is contracting now, so it come back in form of waves approximately every 50 years. So energy, so Earth is more energy, get energy wave, probably every 50 years. Mentions in heaven and earth, so it's absorbed by the earth. Earth converts in a form that we can use. That's why everything come out of earth. Converts in a form that we can use, right? Okay. And so the first wave, it was we at the point of the 1860s, it was at the lowest point. That means the earth was the coldest lowest point, less energy. We was in our worst state. We control ourselves. We control our family. We control everything. We was total control of the devils at the time. And then all of a sudden, that first energy burst, and then all of a sudden the Civil War and everything, and we was able to break our chains from the fields. Still slaves. We were energized. So right. That's first. Right. And like I said, we are the gods. And we actually control the weather. You don't understand. I'm going to talk about that, but you don't understand how you do it. But you will understand eventually. We're also, music reflects our emotions. And whose music dominates the planet? Our music. Our music dominates the planet. Nobody's over rocking to Beethoven and Bach and that stuff. They're rocking to our music. But what happened? See? What we call black music, so-called black music, didn't come into existence until what? 1860s. Blues. Blues. And why? Reflect our mood. Because we had the blues. Because we knew what to do. We threw ourselves to the plantation. Now we couldn't feed ourselves. We had no clothes because we were on the plantation, right? Mass has, but they fed us, clothed everything else. So now we was out, those out. We had access to anything. It was free. Right? That's why a lot of people went back to plantations. They didn't ask, can I stay and work with you? Because they didn't get the food, any place to get the food, anything. And plus they had laws, if you didn't have no place to stay, like I think that was a vibrant law, then you never a chain gang. That's why they had so many people on chain gang. And then the people that helped in the war, right? The soldiers, they put them in a concentration camp and starved them to death. You don't know about all these stories. They tell you all this stuff, right? You never got the 4 eggs and mule, any of that stuff. Anyway, but we had the blues. And then 50 years later, right? Jazz came along. That came from us. The blues came from us. Before they had the blues, they had that rock, that crap, that the devil's head, right? My name is Sally, I come from Valley, whatever. Some banjo or something, right? And then jazz came along probably 50 years later. So we start feeling jazzy. We didn't know about them, so I started thinking about Africa. We got Noble Ali, Marcus Garvey, Master Elijah Muhammad, and then Elijah Muhammad came out of that, right? Because he was actually, Elijah Muhammad said he was actually a lieutenant for Marcus Garvey. He said he was a part of that movement. So I don't know all the details, but that's what he said. So now we start, getting Eurocentric. We had division there between the demons and us. Because remember, half our nation is demons because they raped our women. That's their children. Farrakhan's a product of that. So that's wolves in sheep clothing. At any rate, right? So let me speak a little bit. That's had the vesture there. Because you had people that were Eurocentric, and people Afrocentric. Afrocentric people, they want to go to Liberia, they want to start thinking African, they want to start, right, learn about African stuff. And Eurocentric said, no, I think that was Du Bois, you got to act more like white people. Because he's a demon. You got to act more like them. We got their culture. So some people was looking back for the black culture, and Elijah Muhammad came out of that, Marcus Garvey came out of that, Noble Ali. They had people like Du Bois, I believe it was Du Bois, I may have it wrong. He was, no, we should be more like white folks. That's the demons. And then what? Probably 50 years later, right? Motown sound, is that a coincidence? They had division again. Those that want to integrate and want to separate. Elijah Muhammad for action, hey man, we want to be out or do ourselves. We want to get the hell away from these people and integrate. I want to get more closer to them. I want to live next to them, but still, we're energized, right? So then, I'm black and I'm proud. People getting ready to the cockling, right, and wearing afros and stuff. See, we got more energized. So we stop calling ourselves Negroes. You see, more energized. So where we are right now, we're 50 years later. And so our new music gonna come out. See, rap and all that stuff came out of that. They distorted, when rap first came out, it was like pure. Sister Soldier, Tupac, so forth. I don't know about Miss Biggie, but the point is that they came out, what's his name, I don't know why I can't think of his name. A second. What's his name? Oh, Gil Scott Heron, original rapper. If you don't even know about him, Revolution would not be televised and stuff. He's the original rap before Ice-T and all those guys, right? Before Sister Souls and all that kind of stuff, right? He's original. I don't know if he's still alive or not. But anyway, that all came out of that. So now 50 years, so now, remember that, because black folks, they want civil rights and everything, got more and more control. So white folks losing control over them. That's Civil War, they start losing control. That Civil War was not about freeing you. It was about controlling you because it was the Industrial Revolution came along and Master said, we didn't need you in the fields anymore. He was putting you in the plants. They call them the factories now, but they call them plants now because it's plantation. And they was putting you in there and you was work. The white folks couldn't compete against you. They tried to stop it. So that's what the war was about. It wasn't about freeing you. Anyway, let's move on. I can go in more detail about that I have in the past. The bottom line is now you want more freedom. They have lose control over you. Back in the 60s, you want civil rights and things. You see? So now, 50 years later, and it tells you it's going to be a new music. It says they're saying a new song. So a new music is about to come out. It's going to be music of victory because now we're not only breaking our mental chains, our physical chains, right? And our governmental chains. We're going to break free here, period, and we're going to have our own land. We're going to govern ourselves. That's what's going to happen here, right? This year. Not watch the weather stuff. This year. A new music going to come out. It could be out any day. It won't come out for me because I'd be surprised. I'd be more surprised than anybody, right? I'm not musical. Right? But the new music was going to come out. A music of victory. Because every time blues was down, I don't think anybody say blues anymore, right? Jazz was a little more uplifting. Rock was, hey man, this is going to be victory. Right? Because they said we're coming together, a exceedingly great army, coming together, ready to kick ass. It says, doing them double they done to you. See, we're getting ready to take over everything they took back from us. We're going to war against the whole goddamn world. This whole damn world has been on our back. They saw us slipping back 500 years ago, and everybody stepped on us. The Arabs too. Talking about Sunnis. Farrakhan, we go with it. They was the worst. They was just bad traders. The devils were. In fact, their slave trade lasted longer, and they probably our half brothers, the Arabs. They enslaved us too. They took our lands. What do you think? Egypt, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. Those are all our lands. That's where most took us from. They betrayed us. They sold us out to them, and then they occupied our lands. Okay? We taking it all back. Arabia, we taking it all back. Prophet Muhammad was a black man. That's why they don't show you no pictures of him. They say, oh, no. You want to tell me nobody knew what he looked like? One of their greatest men in history, he took overcome the Roman Empire, and they had artists, they had writers, and all kind, and nobody wrote a description of him. Nobody drew a picture of him. They know what he looked like. They don't want you to know he's a black man because they was black back then. Anyway, that's the story, brothers and sisters, right? Okay. So, let's see here. So the thing is that Earth is warming up. Because like I was telling you, the universe is contracting now. That's what's causing it. And they can't stop it. It means the Earth warming up. Remember, they're so-called winter people. I'm using that as an analogy. And the Earth warms up. That's bad for them. Because now, Earth warms up, the deserts start going away, polar caps melt, there's more land. Right. They can't control the food because there's food everywhere. Deserts dry up. The deserts go away. See, all the nations are rising up now because they got more energy now. So now they got to compete with all these other nations. They're the minority. Everybody's been energized. So you're energized, that means it's hard to control them. So America's trying to America particularly, they're the last European empires, two of them, Britain, they're trying to maintain control. They're losing control. See? They're trying to keep making control because they had control during the winter, but now spring comes, they lose control. Lose control of China, they had control they all these nations under control. Lose control of Africa, Africa kicking them out. China's becoming on the rise, India's on the rise. Right? We've been, false scissors goes down there, we come together instantly. Say we come together instantly. False scissors go there because they put it there to keep us to know who we are. Come together instantly. They want to prevent that. That's what's going over there. That's what dilemma's all about. Anyway, we're talking about, let's go into that. I think I'll close. But it's because globes are warming because everybody's been energized, brothers and sisters. That's why I was talking about that 5, right? Every 50, possibly every 50 years. Is that a coincidence? Blues, 50 years later jazz, 50 years later Motown sound, which all that stuff came out of there, rap and everything else, and now it's a new sound of victory. Because now we're gonna overcome, we're gonna kick ass. We're not being controlled by anybody anymore. That's what this period. Because nobody saw civil rights that movement come along, did they? All of a sudden, what was that? Rosa Parks, bam! Out of nowhere, one spark, bam! Same thing with back in 20, one spark, bam! The Marcus Garvey, bam! Caused a whole movement. And so there's gonna be some spark. And what's that spark? Because that war is going, the sparks coming out of the Middle East right now. What's happening there is going, that's why I said men's hearts be filled for fear. Those things coming upon the earth, America and Europe, because the powers of heaven, how do they know the heaven, if the heaven behind the sun, moon, and stars is broken? Heaven's Middle East. So that's where the spark. There's great fear in them. And that fear is going, when you're in fear, you try to stop the fear. The fear is because they're going to realize who we are, and we're going to realize who we are. They're going to try to do everything to stop us. That's what it's all about. That's what's driving it. And they can't stop it. Like I said, that pop with the fear. They can't stop the universe from contracting. So everybody's being energized now. So America's preparing for war for everybody. And so that's what Trump's talk about. When you're lying, it means you're in trouble. When you're trying to take stuff, it means you're trying to get control. You're trying to make America great again. That means you're losing power. Why you gotta say make America great again? Why do you say let's keep America great? Why do you say that? Let's keep America great. No. Because you're losing power. So I said make it great again. You're losing control over us. Control over China. Control over India. Control over Africa. Control over South America. And so they're doing everything trying to get these things back on control, losing control of it. And the control is getting worse every day. Everybody getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And they're pissed off everybody. They'll kick everybody in the ass. And you heard the consequence? Now once they get up a hand, they don't do America, said do unto them as it's done to you. So yeah, the war is coming, but it ain't like they've won, they're not going to control it. And all they've done, everybody's going to close in on them. America will be totally destroyed by next year. 2026, there will be no America 2027. America will be gone. They'll be totally dominated. The Chinese will be rolling in here in next year. They'll be rolling in here next year. 2026, they'll be rolling in here. They'll be on their way in 2025. You start seeing them coming on the way somewhere between around November, December, you see them on the way. They're going to take out Britain on the way coming here somewhere between December and January. Okay. They said they don't understand the scripture where they say America, when they see, because that's another, see, it's two firstborns they're talking about. The elderly, and the second one is Britain. They said they're going to be a great cry when they see the way Britain's going to be taken out and destroyed so suddenly and so terribly. But it says men's heart be falling for fear. Those things come upon the earth, because they see something over there, and they see over there it's coming here. So I talked about dilemma. Uh-oh. Back up. Okay. I messed up my own. Nope. Okay. Okay, something wrong, but this is the way I prepared this, so. It's not a major problem, but it's not going as smooth as I would have had it. I don't know what happened there. Okay, let me do it again. Can't do any mouse because I did something wrong. Okay. Okay, let me just one more thing, brothers and sisters, and I said that's what global warming is about. See, because the universe is energizing, but from their point of view, it's bad because remember this capitalism, democracy, all that kind of stuff is based on this energy deprivation system, a winter system, and so it's coming apart now. It won't work in the next because you won't need that. Like I said, if you had an island, a bunch of islands, and also all the islands stop producing, they came famines, you had one main island that was still producing, then what happened? Everybody gonna start going to that main island to get food, but they're gonna say, man, you can't come here, you're gonna take all our food. Plus we got a farm to make this produce. Okay? So if you come over here and help us farm, then we give you some food. See, now you're an employee, right? Or maybe you're a slave. We may work hard, we're gonna give you lose just enough food to make it through the day. That's the difference between a servant and a slave, right? But slavery doesn't, look up the definition of slavery. We didn't put us through slavery, brothers and sisters. Slavery doesn't include rape, murder, terror. Let's move on to the next one, brothers and sisters, now close. Gold and silver. American gold and silver. What's the gold and silver of America? All these mind games they plan on you, brothers and sisters. And like I said, these traders, they're helping them. That's why they're going to pay a help. Cause that's why the scripture says, if you're with me or you're against me, there ain't no in between. Oh, no. If you ain't with me, you're against me, period. Black and white. So if you're not with me, you were the devils. And this is the Levites. It says that you couldn't deceive the elect. This is a message direct to the Levites. See, all this was about you. The elect wasn't the problem. It's Levites. You should read Exodus about the Levites. Right? Because you had two groups. You had the elect, Shabazz, and his Levites. So in Exodus it says, though with the Lord come, all the Levites came with him. Because those ones were Pharaoh, but they was there, but they were seeking the message of the covenant. And when Moses came, he says, though, and then they left Pharaoh, and then they was told to get rid of Pharaoh and all his people. It's right there. Told me to kill them all. Right? So Master Muhammad, he came here for the Levites. Elijah Muhammad spent 47 years with the Levites. And what did they turn on them? They turned on Master Muhammad. You see anybody talking about they followers of Master Muhammad? No. And the people that's claiming with Elijah, they're all lying out there because they ain't found. What is the message coming? The message of black men speak what's going on right now? The foreign Americans speak what's going on right now? They can't tell you anything because they lying anyway. They got to try and make a penny. Because it said the people that were Elijah, they be seeking the message of the covenant. And Elijah and Pharaoh is not the message of the covenant. He don't even preach the covenant. Because he tell you ain't going nowhere. They probably seek, so that means they liars. They not with Elijah. They tell Elijah, turn leader of the nation of Islam. That's not what it says. First they come and tell you, you got to believe in Elijah because it says in Malachi. Okay. Then what about the rest of Malachi? Oh, well, okay, well. Okay. But Malachi says there be someone that's cursed with a curse that's robbing the nation. Who's on that? Now Elijah and Master Muhammad. It ain't me. I ain't asked you that for a dime, never have. So who's getting rich off the nation? Farrakhan. He ain't produced a goddamn thing in 40 some years, but he's filthy rich, and plus his son, so-called Supreme Cap. How you get rich? I don't have any business anywhere. They're multimillionaires. Right? Okay. Understand that. Okay. So they full of it. But it's for the Levites. And so the messenger coming, he will come to purify Levites. See? So he's coming. But the problem is, he said, you're going to come to him. Actually, you're going to come to the temple, but you're going to actually come to him if you read Mark. Because I ain't coming to you, you come to me. If you don't come, that's your business. I don't care. Because remember, John didn't want to deal with Levites anyway. He said, man, it's too much trouble. John didn't want to deal with them. Neither did Jesus. He wanted to deal with me because he told John, I don't want to deal with your people. No, John, I don't want to deal with your people, man. They too much trouble. So you better be careful because the thing is, Moses turned against you, God turned against you. And the only one kept you going because they said, get rid of him. He said, no, give him a little, just give him a little more fertilizer, a little more water, a little more sun, maybe. He said, cut that damn tree down. I said, no, well, he's the only thing standing between you. I'm the only thing standing between you and destruction. That's literally. And when you decide to come, maybe it's not to say I have to accept you. So men should be called, but few should be chosen. So you better be careful. Because when you do come, I might not receive you. Because we don't need you. You better look at the ark again. Because you're still in the water. You're outside the kingdom. Because after what you did with Master Muhammad, and what you did with Elijah was terrible. Elijah spent 40-some years, and you spit on shit on him before he turned the corner. He's leaving, and before he turned the corner, you pissing shit on him, calling him names. I was there. I heard what you said. Heard what Farrakhan said. He denounced him with his lying ass. He said stuff like, if you believe in Elijah Muhammad, I'm saying you're a fool and stuff like that. So we got more tapes saying stuff like that. He didn't believe in Master Muhammad. He didn't believe in Elijah, he believed in all that stuff. That means he was a hypocrite even then. Why was he telling Elijah he believed in it? Well, he did, because he said he didn't believe in that stuff. Before Elijah Muhammad turned the corner. So he was a hypocrite then. That's why Elijah Muhammad called him a hypocrite. He was a hypocrite. Elijah was a present. How you be chain on dime like that? Tell me, well, Wallace was doing well. Why? He was with Wallace for over a year or so. We got him on tape. And why are you with him? How can you stand for the Nation of Islam? Because you're a lying dog. See? That's what's going on with that. See? Okay. So here you got the situation here, right? Now see over here on the right. Okay. Over here on the right. Oh, hold on. Hold on, says I forgot to bring this back up. On me. Okay. Over here on the right. That's they tell us they found us like that. They tell us they found us like that. We're savages, cannibals, eat each other, ignorant, dumb, naked, being chased and eaten by lions and count on. That's what they tell us. Plates in their mouth, bones in their ears, bones in their nose. That's what they tell us. The truth of it is, who's the ones over here on the left here? We have major cities. Cairo was one of them, right? Timbuktu was the greatest university on the planet at the time. People all over the world, we knew the world was round, would come there and be educated in Timbuktu. Look it up. That's in Africa. Egypt was in Africa too. They didn't want you to know that. Carthage was one of the great civilizations that Hannibal came out of. Great civilizations there. Kind of Carthage, they got rid of Carthage, I think it's Algeria now and Tunisia, whatever. Great civilizations. Did you know Sudan? Go check it out. Check it out right now. They got pyramids, just like they got in Egypt, in Sudan. They got pyramids there, real pyramids. They didn't tell you about that, did they? Because the reason they want to tell you that, because they tried to tell you the Egyptian was white, but they weren't. They showed a couple of hieroglyphics. They said, no, Egypt was black, blacker than me. In fact, I think Egyptian is a Greek word for land of the black, something like that there. I forget. Let me check that out real quick. Egypt. That's what it means. Yeah, I figure. Oh boy, they hide so much stuff. Okay, yeah. The term Kemet, used by ancient Egyptians, referred to a land translated to black land. But they try to make it as white. In fact, they don't, for many years they made people think that Egypt wasn't even in Africa. When Arabia is Africa too, it's North Africa. That's another story. But we had great major civilizations. The Queen of Sheba, telling the Bible, Queen of Sheba was a black woman. They tell you in the Bible she's a black woman. She wasn't running around no neck and everything. She was a queen. And the queen, remember, not that she was under a king. No, she ran it. Well, I forgot what land she was a queen of. It was African land, right? Queen of Sheba, her name was I forget. But the bottom line is, she ran it. She was the ruler, and she came and met Solomon. Suleiman. That's where Son of Man comes from. Suleiman. Play on words. Son o man. See, it's not. It doesn't mean son of a man. That's what Elijah thought. That's what we said. Let's say he didn't have it all correct. Major civilizations. The Spanish got civilized during the tribulation, during the medieval time, because the Moors, which came out of Morocco, they was all black. They converted to Prophet Muhammad's Islam, and they ruled Spain and northern Italy for 700 years. They didn't want to talk about how to bathe and everything else. Civilized them. They was the so they did have tribes in Africa, but they was like people living in the suburbs. They was educated, they had language, but they chose to live out in the suburbs, if you want to look at it that way. Now you got the rednecks, right? You're going to say, well, rednecks represent America? In some ways they do, but see what I'm saying? But that's what they tell you. So if they convince you that you believe that you came out of this one, which is on the right side here, then you'll accept this. You accept this stuff here. Because this is a step up from that. This is a step up from that. See? So I tell you, you step up. She walk around naked and everything else. I mean, you got the girls wearing out panties now. Why? Because they distracting you. See, all this is about distraction, about keeping you from using your energy to develop yourself. They're desperate to keep you from growing and coming together as a nation. It takes energy for that. Energy to come together as a nation. Energy to work together. Energy to lift yourself up. Energy to take control of your nation. To energy for that. But if they got you, they got video games, they got you NFL, like all this bullshit don't mean nothing. And you see these brothers, they be in here in the gym. Oh man, LeBron did this, and what's his name? Whatever, Michael Jordan. They did. Fuck them. Yeah, I said it. That's all this strategy, you know that. But you ask you what the trigonometric function is, you don't have no idea. That's what calculus derivative, you have no idea. But you know that bullshit. So what you do, if you get a nation, you're going to call devils, come on, please devils, please give us electricity, give us water, give us water, give us food. They're not controlling you with Christianity, they're controlling you with mathematics. But you don't want no mathematics, and it's amazing because every time I talk to a black person, I talk math. Oh man, I don't know about no mathematics. I don't know about math. And you're the mathematicians. You're the gods. You're the mathematicians. You're the master. Oh boy. They can convince you that and they say, you look at them, you admire them. They think you devils, man. You say this from cannibalism. You say this from. So you love them. You kiss their ass, man, because they save you from all of that, from the jungle. That's why I tell you that crap. But if you found out that this was really you here, you tell them to go fuck themselves. You kick their ass and man, look what you did to us. Look what you did to our women. You see how they play mental games with you? Because they got you believing this is what you came from. When actually this is where you came from. And they reduce you to this. They ain't uplift you from this. They reduce you from this. And when you love something, you protect it and you make it grow. But if you hate something, you change it or you get rid of it. And you know how much you love it, how much you hate it, by how much you change it. They changed us 100%. Religion, name, culture, land, everything, took everything away from us. Their heads 1%. And if you try to grab anything, try to grab some of what they took from you, they don't like you anymore. Remember about Ali? They loved him as long as it's Cassius Clay. So he said his name was Ali, all of a sudden they hate him, or they came after, they took his license away, they tried to put him in the army, they wanted to put him in jail, right? He said he made more money after, when they hated him than he did before, because they would fill up the gym, they fill up the auditoriums or whatever they was, right? And pay high prices because they want to see him get his ass kicked. Try to reclaim it. That's why his brothers and sisters some of them don't take the name back. No, they're gonna lose their job. Hey, Peter Buckenbaum. I'm Peter Buckenbaum. Then you walk in there and say, man, I'm Abdul. Rock my, oh man. Oh. Next day, man, we don't need you no more. Because you're scared. You're scared, man, because you know that's what's gonna happen. They find a reason, oh, we don't want you. I had my own business before I got the Angel. I had my own computer business, IT business. I was a contractor, right? I ran the same problem, but I was so good, because see, I tell you, the white folks ain't nowhere as smart as you think they are. I keep telling you that. White men bring the Indians over here. If they so white, well, how can they control their own technology? How can they bring Indians over to do it? It's a long story I'm not going to right. Well, I may have touched a little bit. But I had my own IT business. I did contracting work. And 90% of the contracts they gave me was coming and correcting the white boy stuff. Because they would go in, they write these program stuff and the shit didn't work. They leave and stuff, and that contract. Hey man, they call me in, and that's my job. I was to fix it. I made a lot of money doing it. After I fixed it, they didn't want me around though. They didn't want me around. They liked the job I did, but they didn't want me around. Raheem, and I ain't talk their bullshit, cause they come on me try to talk bullshit. I mean, one guy come to my. Talking about Washington. I said, man, we're talking Washington, man. He wasn't nothing better rapist. Man, you don't call Washington a rapist. I said, well, then don't ask me. Don't bring it to me then. I tell you who he is. I didn't back off on him for a dime. I ain't never did that. I ain't kissed nobody's ass for $1 million, a dime, anything. You take reparation, what you're saying is your mother wasn't worth shit. They did all that Fannie Mae, red ass, eat shit and everything else. Pissing out mouths and everything else. You got mouths for toilets. They even got statues. You going in there right now, you got a statue in there with a black person, or a statue of a black person, and a white boy pissing in his mouth. That was one of the punishments they used to do. They would have one slave shit in the slave, another slave spit his mouth, then they covered up where he couldn't spit out for 7 days. And you gonna forgive that? And how they raped our women, you forgive that? And then I want reparations. In other words, it's a dollar amount of, I rape your mama. You take $10 million to rape your mama? That what you do? Hey man, I give you $10 million, I rape your mama. You accept that? Because when you take reparation, that's exactly what you're doing. They can't pay for what they did to us. Okay? And you a sellout. If you want to take it, fine, you can take it. I ain't taking it. And that's the problem the devil's got. Because we got a reward coming. Arabia, that's our reward. And I was covered saying that's what you don't know any better. That will be like that. We get. And another thing is, let me just move on. Right? But if you take reparation, you honor that contract. That's the same thing. Esau gave up his inheritance to Jacob. So God honored that. So you take that. The problem they have is they have to give 100%. That's why Farrakhan's pushed. That's why Farrakhan was sent in there. They get you to say reparation, all that kind of stuff, to fight for the country. If they can't get rid of you, take reparation. That's another way to get rid of you. Right? Because they got to everybody. Because if one person don't accept it, he's still alive. God still got to honor his promise. You still got to kick their ass and take you home. So they got to have 100% compliance. 100%. And let me talk one more thing about this reparations thing. Okay? You listen to these old clowns, they tell you this shit. They don't know what they're talking about. I said, they run their mouth, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't understand who the dragon is, they don't understand the revelation, they don't understand none of these, they don't understand this stuff. They run their mouth, that's why they're going to pay a heavy price for it. But just think this through. Now, America just made an agreement with, over there, with Iran, right? And they deceived them. They said, okay, we're going to have negotiations on Sunday. And they snuck attack them on what? Friday? Every covenant they made, they never backed up. They had a covenant with them about that JCPOA, right? And he canceled. The same thing, that's what it said, so-called natives. When they came over here, they would say, you speak with sparks tongue, because every treaty they made with them, they broke it. They can't trust these people, they're liars. That's what I say, make men shed blood, they're liars. So that ain't gonna give you, say they gave you the reparations. See, if Farrakhan lying, because first of all, if Farrakhan's really here to give you reparations, how come he ain't prepared for it? How can he have a school set up? If God told him this is gonna happen, how come he's getting you prepared for it? Get scientists and engineers and everything right? He ain't doing any of that because he's lying. He's putting money in his pocket. He got sits on the street pimping for him, doing fundraisers, putting money in his pocket. But let's go over here. Say you got these 6 states he's talking about, right? But they sure wouldn't give you California. They give you'd be locked in landlocked. They won't give you that. They give you some landlocked states. So you don't have access to river, ocean, anything. Landlocked. So you still be dependent upon them. So you got these states. Okay. And say they give everybody $1 million. Oh man, they don't give all of $1 million. So yeah, man, I'm down with that, man. They don't give all the $1 million. They give everybody $1 million, right? Who makes that money? They do. So now you got your 6 states, you got everybody $1 million. Who gonna run it? Who gonna run it? Who gonna take care of the electricity and everything? Who gonna take care of all that stuff? You can't. So say for instance, you can. But you're landlocked, so you You can't. You got to go through America. Any place you got to go through their roads and everything to get to the sea. You want to trade with anybody? Because they ain't gonna let you have landlocked. Because that means you can trade with other people and have other people come help you fight or whatever. If you get in a war, have you landlocked. They ain't stupid. So you're landlocked. So then, what they do, as soon as they give it to you, see, they want to get rid. They don't want you to have you. They did the same thing to the Indians. They had treated them, and then so they found gold, so they got rid of them. They just killed them all. They had treaties with the Indians. They said, "Okay, you give this state and everything else." They lied on all of them. So they gave it to you. Okay, then they tell their people, "What I want you to do is I'm going to take all your money and put it in precious metals, gold, silver, whatever, anything." And then start printing money like crazy. Because see, if you understand how money works, the more they print it, because it's based on something, the less is worth. Okay? So words, if I'm selling you this car for $1,000, and that's how much America has this much money is worth this much. But if you double the money, you ain't double your wealth. Everything now, $1 worth 50 cents. See what I'm saying? Because you ain't even double your wealth, you just double because these certificates worth so much. So now $1 worth less. So they said I print money like crazy. So all of a sudden $1 becomes 50 cents, then becomes 20 cents, then becomes 10 cents, then 1 cent. So your $1 million is all the way down to nothing now. And now you got to buy stuff. You still buying stuff in America or wherever you're getting it from. Now that $1 million is down to worth maybe 10 cents. See what I'm saying? So now you're broke. You can't got anybody to run the place. Even if they're good, you can't run it because you ain't got any money to do it. Because everybody had $1 million now. It's worthless. Then they closed the borders. And so now you're going to starve to death like you're doing over in Gaza. They did to them. They already set a precedent. So let you starve to death. Who's going to say anything? They ain't say anything about them over there now in Gaza. And they love them more than they love you because they ain't as black as you are. You think they wouldn't do that? Well, they wouldn't do it to us. They wouldn't? Why? They do it to them. Free, then that's the end of the black problem. You want 6 states, you got them. Now you don't know how to run, that's your goddamn problem. You don't have to defend yourself, that's your problem. Keep listening to these dumbass people. I'm giving you the truth. But like I said, time runs out, patience runs out. Because by the time, because I don't care if you come here or not, because I'm leaving with the elect. So if you show up or not, it's your problem. If you don't show up, that's on you. If you do show up, maybe at that point I may not even want to accept you. Because I'm just here to give information. I ain't here to rule you, tell you, control you. I don't want your money. I'm just here to give information to get how to get the hell out of here. That's what said the messenger come would do. He come with healing in his wings, right? And to purify you. That's what tribulation is all about. That's all. All this was done for you, not for the elect. The elect don't have to say they could be deceived. And you turn down every step of the way. You turn down, you walk away. So you walk away now, it's on you. But I'm not going to take around and I've sacrificed 35 years to get this information to you. I had actually more than that by the time of Elijah. But it's up to you, brothers and sisters. Right? Because your leaders ain't worth shit. They ain't doing anything. You see them out there telling about bad news and telling all kinds of bad stuff and lying and betraying you. Then you fall victim to the demons that said they would make war with the saint. He said Farrakhan he's that mouth that would make war with the saint for 42 years. And he overcome them. So even on that score you can't lose. Because you say you're going to inherit the earth, right? Since saint's going to inherit the earth. So if you're the one going to inherit the earth, then somebody's going to betray you and overcome you for 40 some years. So if it hasn't happened yet, that means it's going to happen. It's up to you, brothers and sisters. It's your call. If you don't skid on my back, I already put my sacrifice in, sacrifice for you. Everybody's makes sense, so you can't come back and say, everybody, because you went to the hard car, so you was promised, your messages will come to you and tell you what to do, but you've been rejecting all of them. I'm your last hope. And I don't even want, it's sad, because I don't want anything from you. I don't want any followers. I'm here to give you information. You come and get it or don't get it, it's up to you. I'm gonna leave it there, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. Well, let me show you this right quick. Wow. Something is wrong with us. See what's happening here? Now watch it again. There's that false sign. We're in darkness, but that's a sign they set up. Sign they set up. That's why you got to keep that sign at all costs. But when that sign is being faced, when falsehood goes down, then we're going to realize that we choose Abraham. That's going to unify us, this nation, right? See the great army, because now we realize the truth. That's what they're trying to stop. That's why they're doing all costs of aggregate. Got to keep falsehoods up there. They don't love them, but the purpose is to keep us divided. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. The dam's about to break. Okay. I messed this up, brothers, and I don't know what I did. I had this laid out properly, but I'll leave it there, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.